Hello. Testing 1, 2, 3. Let me know if you can hear me. Wonderful. All right. Hello, everybody. How is everyone doing today? Good, man. Just getting back into the swing of things. I just got back from a little bit of a vacation with my family for the holidays, so excited to hop into some Valorant stuff and just watch a ton, watch a ton of Valorant over the next couple of weeks, to be honest. How the streamer can. I mean, by just hoping. So basically, what we're gonna do here is we are gonna do this giveaway, but we're gonna allow the stream to mature a little bit so that enough people can get here. I want everybody that wants to be here to have a chance to be here, and so we'll probably do the giveaway in about, I don't know, 45 minutes or so. But in the meantime, I figure that we could go over some of the media surrounding the event. I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys might have about the event, and take a look at the pick'ems that we did last stream real quick if anybody wants to look at that. And we can just just kind of get ready for what is about to come, because it's going to be nuts. It's going to be so much content coming out. I'm going to be just analyzing my face off for the next 2 weeks. What agent do I main? I mostly play Yoru, but recently I have been playing a lot of Viper. So I've kind of switched, and surprise, surprise, I've started winning a lot more now that I'm playing an agent that's actually good. So yeah, I've been playing a lot of. I basically fill. I play KO, Viper, Brim, Yoru, Killjoy, Sage, whatever team needs, basically. Yo, stop spamming, or I'm gonna fucking ban you. Vision Strikers will surprise a lot of people. I mean, is it really a surprise if they're one of the top teams already? I don't know. Have I tried Chamber? Yes, I like Chamber a lot, actually. I think he kind of fits my playstyle, because I'm kind of like a lurker. I like to hold the flank and find timing plays and stuff like that. When did I last play Chamber? I don't know. A little while ago. Yeah, honestly, I mean, why does my rank matter? And stop clogging up the chat. Who cares? We're here to talk about the event. Should Yoru be buffed? Probably. I think honestly the main thing that needs to happen with Yoru is that they need to just make his teleport happen instantly. That's like the biggest thing, because he should never be able to get killed like mid animation and have his body teleport and still be dead. It doesn't make any sense. Who am I supporting? Man, there's a lot of teams that I like. I'm a big Liquid fan. Just like, I like the org. I've liked the org for years because they kind of helped me get started in esports. I'm a big fan of all the SEA teams because I really like SEA as like a region, and I hope that they do well in Valorant. Obviously, I'm wearing a Vision Strikers jersey, so they're kind of like my favorite team. But I definitely like, I just want to see good games and interesting stuff. I don't want to see a team win that is just running the same shit that they were running like 6 months ago, because that'd be boring. But yeah, I just want to see cool stuff. That's what I really am all about in Valorant esports in general. So I want to see people doing cool things, coming up with cool solutions, showing off like creativity. That's what video games and esports is. I think that's what makes it appealing to me. So do I have a favorite team? Probably Vision Strikers, but realistically, I'd be pretty happy with like C9, Gambit, Sentinels, Liquid, any of those teams winning, or any of like the super underdog teams. I think would be cool to see as well. Chamber's not going to be available for the tournament, so no team is going to pick it, yo. What website is this? Bro, it's VLR. VLR.gg. What do I think of Crew? I think that they might surprise people. They're a team that has, wow, they have awful odds. This is, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I would probably bet on this if I was betting on these games. I would probably take these odds because I don't think that any team is, not very many teams are super severe underdogs, especially at such a high pressure LAN. Does KO need a buff? No, KO is extremely good. I think we're going to see him played a lot. It's kind of unfortunate that Crew is in this group, to be honest. This is rough. I mean, Liquid Sentinels. Yeah, it's. I think that there is some world where one of those teams don't get out, but realistically, it's going to be Liquid and Sentinels, and Crew are kind of going to be like the odd one out, who's probably better than several of the other teams that makes it through. But they just happen to be against two of like the top 3 or 4 teams at the event. Omen does need a rework. Yeah, he's terrible. Laverne, this is VLR.gg. It's probably the best site for following the pro scene and stats and stuff like that. Will I do a giveaway? Yeah, the giveaway is going to be on this stream in like half an hour. Who's my favorite player in Team Liquid? I don't know. That's hard. Probably like Yampy or Scream. Maybe. I don't know. I really like how Navera plays too. I think that he's kind of something special, something different. So it's gonna be cool to see him on LAN. What do you have to do to take part in the giveaway? I will give details in a little bit. Basically just going to be entering from chat. And you have to be subscribed to the channel. Navera got tested. Yeah, I think from what I remember, from what I heard, Navera tested positive because he had COVID like a couple of weeks ago and still has antibodies in his system. But I think he's still going to have to quarantine to some extent. Which team, in my opinion, is most likely to win the event? I think probably Team Liquid or Sentinels are the most likely. But I think that there's probably like 5 or 6 teams that have a reasonably good chance at winning. How do I cope with talking publicly? Do I get nervous? I mean, I don't know. It's kind of just like having a conversation. I've been making content publicly for like 6 years now, so it's kind of just like normal at this point. But and I don't know, I wouldn't say that I was super outgoing growing up, but then I worked in restaurants as like a waiter and a bartender for like almost 10 years, and also was a snowboard instructor and coached sports teams and stuff like that. and you just kind of like learn to talk to people if you're forced to do it all the time. What game did I used to play before Valorant? So most recently I was like basically full time playing and analyzing Dota 2, but I've been playing games my whole life. Do I like TSM FTX? I don't know. I feel like they have not been a very good team. They have not managed their players or org, like their spot in Valorant very well. So I don't dislike them, but I don't think they've handled Valorant very well. What sports did I coach? Baseball, and I was a snowboard instructor. My mic is cutting off. Is the noise gate too high, or am I just being too low? TSM is doomed. Need a whole roster change. I don't know, honestly. Okay, this is serious talk. Which do you think has higher skill floor, Dota 2 or League? I've never played League. I've never played a single game of League because I played Dota 1 and then I played Heroes of New Earth and then I played Dota 2 and I just never played League of Legends, so I don't know. I would love to know your opinion about the champion skins. Also, what is my favorite skin? Um, well, I do have the Vandal. I did do that. So it's pretty cool. It's definitely fun. Favorite skin? I don't know, man. That's tough. I probably the Oni. Like if we're looking at full collection, it's probably the Oni and then the Reaver are the top two. But if I had to pick one, oh, man, I don't know. Maybe like the Reaver Sheriff or the Ion Sheriff. I guess are like my favorite too. Do I get revenue out of YouTube? Yeah. What do the numbers on betting mean? Like for individual games like this? Um, I don't actually know exactly what system. There's a few different systems, but I assume this is something like if you bet $1 on Liquid, you get $1.06 back. If you bet $1 on Crew, you get $6.48 back. So it's like much better odds to bet on Crew, but obviously they have a much lower chance of winning. So it's kind of depends on how much you believe in them. Have I been playing Halo Infinite? Yeah, I've been playing a bit. There's so many games that I'm playing right now that it's kind of hard to keep up with it. Who am I rooting for in Champions? Honestly, I'm just rooting for the game. I want to see very high viewership and I want to see some really good, exciting matches. If we get close or at the level of the Berlin hype in terms of like clutches and crazy matches, which I think we probably will, I think it's going to be really good for the game. That's awesome, Ryuk. Glad to hear that. Any ideas for the upcoming Yoru rework? Honestly, I don't know. I talked to the guy who designed the agent a few times in the past, not anything recently. I actually don't think that the agent is the problem with Yoru is that there's a lot of agents that just kind of like already do what he does to some extent in terms of like entering power. I think that he's really unique and just needs to be explored more by teams, and he definitely needs some tweaks to how his mechanics work, but realistically, unless they do something drastic, nobody's going to play him. Did I play college baseball? Yes. For a couple of years. Who's my video editor? Me. I work with one other guy occasionally. Like the video that I put out last night was mostly edited by somebody else, but I edit basically all of my videos. Do I think Valorant prize pool will ever cross Dota's TI? No. And I don't think it should. I don't think trying to beat TI is a good idea. And you know, I definitely think that I'm a little disappointed in the size of the prize pool, if I'm being honest. I kind of wish that first place was like $1 million or something like that. But from my understanding, they also had like a very specific budget planned out for Valorant in its first year in esports. And my guess is that they didn't actually expect Valorant esports to pop off the way that it did. Like they wanted it to, obviously, but I don't think that they actually did. And I would imagine that if they could go back in time today, they would probably bump this up to like $1 million for first place. But they probably just didn't think that they would have enough viewership maybe initially to justify allocating like several $1 million to the esports scene for an individual tournament. I don't know. It's almost clear that tens would be playing Rays on maps. But I suspect there will be something totally different. I'm actually very curious to see what Sentinels will do. Do I think Shazam will play different initiator instead of Sova now that Dapper started playing Sova more frequently? I don't really feel like Sova fits Dapper's playstyle is kind of one of the issues. I think that Dapper is really good at being like an aggressive lurker, kind of like Nats, and if he's playing Sova, you can't really do that. You have to like be with your team the whole time. How long does each video take, and how do I come up with ideas? I watch a lot of Valorant. I play a lot of Valorant, and it kind of depends. Like the pro player or pro team breakdowns will usually take me like, you know, a few hours of watching, and then I have to write a script, and then I have to record the script, and then I have to collect clips for it, and then I have to put it all together. Every video usually takes me between like 2 or 3 days to make, sometimes up to a week. And a lot of that process is like figuring out what idea is gonna work well. So a huge portion of my process is just like kind of trying to make sure that I have a plan for going into the content. Hey Yash, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm definitely still planning on doing a KO video. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Are there any requirements to get entered into the giveaway? So basically what's going to happen is I'm going to be using this system where I will give you guys a phrase, a word, and then once I get the giveaway set up, you guys just need to type the word, and you'll only be able to enter once you type it, but it will just record your screen names, and then once I end the recording part of it, then we'll pick a couple of winners, and that will be the giveaway. Do I think Valorant esports would ever have an open circuit like CS? Seems kind of unlikely. My guess is that they'll probably go towards like the league system because it works. You went from bronze to diamond 1 square 0. That's crazy, dude. Congratulations. It's a big climb. Do I release content on a schedule at some point, like 1 video a week? Yeah, I try to do 1 a week. I've done like, I mean, so this is my like fourth channel that I've sort of built, and I've done daily content before. I've done like, you know, 2 or 3 a week before, and 1 a week seems to be a pretty good sweet spot in terms of being able to come up with consistently good ideas. It's like, you know, at the end of the day, I don't want to waste anybody's time, so I'm only going to put out videos that I think are good enough. Yes, the giveaway will be done through PayPal. What are my thoughts on Chamber? I think he has potential to be really good, but it kind of depends on how creative teams get in using him. Do I have any plans on being part of the analysis team on Valorant? I mean, if an event would hire me, I would be happy to work it. It just hasn't happened, really. Am I doing YouTube full time or is it just a side thing? Yeah, I've been doing YouTube full time for the last like 5 years. Am I going to use the editing style like I used in my last video more? Sometimes. The thing is, the channel's mostly going to stay with like analytical content, but every now and then I just have an idea that doesn't really involve analyzing a team, and so then I have to do something a little bit different to differentiate it. Did I do the pick'ems? I did. You guys want to see what the pick'ems looked like? We did them live on stream, actually, so I can show you guys. How important is confidence when taking gunfights? I honestly think it's almost everything. Obviously, you have to have reasonable aim, but I think that if you're super confident, you will win most gunfights at your elo, wherever you are. And dude, honestly, yesterday I played for the first time in a week because I was gone for holiday, and I was insane. I played 3 games. I top fragged every single game, and I felt like I couldn't lose gunfights. I was just owning people and just like perfectly flicking, even when people would have timings on me. I was just out shooting them, and it was just because like there was no doubt because I hadn't there was no like you know, oh man, I haven't played well today because I hadn't played in like a week. I just came back and started owning people. Is my Dota channel still on? No, I haven't made Dota content in a while. Oh yeah, pick'ems. Here we go. Here are the pick'ems that we have. You can see we picked Ascend, we picked Envy, picked Ascend to beat Envy, Keyed Stars. Oops. Okay, it's still saved. Cool. Confidence has been low recently, and losing gunfights just makes it worse. Yeah, it's kind of like a vicious cycle, right? If you start losing fights, you start being less confident, which makes you less likely to win fights, which makes you less confident. So if that's happening, it really just comes down to either taking a break or doing something to reset. And sometimes what I find helps is that if you're having a bad streak of games, you just like turn off all comms, just like insta lock whatever agent you feel the most comfortable on, and then you just like W key for the entire game. And realistically, you're probably gonna lose, but sometimes you need to just forget about actually playing the game and then just basically play ranked like it's a DM, just like fight people. Sometimes you just have to do that, you know. Do I have any tips for crazy aggressive omen, like how to play it or what? Do I really think, oh yeah, okay, let's go through the rest of the victims. So we have Ascend and Envy qualifying from Group A. We have Liquid and Sentinels qualifying from Group B. And this one is sort of a kind of a coin flip. I think that most people will probably pick Sentinel. I mean, it's going to be very, very close. I think both of them get out of the group. And I just think that Liquid maybe looked a little bit better recently. I'm just kind of doing it like to be a little contrarian for fun, you know. Gambit will get out of this group pretty easily, and we got some fun storylines. Crazy Raccoon against Gambit. Vikings, though, I think is probably slightly better, but who knows? And then Vision Strikers and Cloud9 get out of Group D, which is very sad because I would love to see Full Sense go. And honestly, there's some world where Vision Strikers loses, but I think this is the most likely outcome. Why am I good at DM, but when I go into comp or unranked to become a lot worse? I made a video on that actually. You should check out why all of your enemies are demons in deathmatch. I think that's what it's called. Basically, when you have something to lose, you're gonna play more scared and less confident and less kind of carefree, and that makes you actually play worse, which sort of, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Why did I place Fnatic so low? I think that this is kind of one of those unfortunate situations like the Crew group, where I think that Crew is probably better than Crazy Raccoon and Vikings, and they're probably better than Keydstars and X10, but they just happen to be against two of the best teams in the tournament from my perspective. Like Fnatic very well could get through this group. They could maybe even get through this. I don't know. It kind of depends on how good of a Fnatic shows up, but they just happen to be against two teams that I think could reasonably end up in the finals. And so they just are kind of screwed. And also I think that Full Sense is surprisingly good. Again, some of my picks, I'm not going to lie, some of my picks are kind of to be like, if I get them right, then I can point at them and be like, I knew that this was going to happen. You know, it's like a little bit of an ego pick. Fnatic definitely could beat Full Sense, but I would love to see Full Sense win. I want SEA to do well, and I don't have anything against Fnatic, but they just, you know, they happen to be the one that was the victim of that. Realistically, I'm a Silver 2 16-year-old from Argentina. Do you think you have any chance at an esports career, specifically Valorant? I don't have any way to answer that. You know, I don't know what your situation is. I don't know how long you can dedicate to the game. I don't know how quickly you're growing. Silver 2 seems pretty low to be trying to go pro. I would say focus on just getting better until it becomes realistic. You know, you're never gonna, you can't even play in tournaments until you're immortal. So, you know, get to immortal first and then think about it. Have I ever thought about making content off YouTube, for example, TikTok? I mean, I've done content on other platforms before, but YouTube is just the best. What are the top duelists right now? Jet, Reyna, Raze, Sky, KO, if you want to count those. How do I play ranked like I don't care, but at the same time care in game? I mean, that's tough. Like a psychological thing that's gonna be different from everybody. Why stream here instead of Twitch? Because you guys are all here already. Why would I ask you to go to a different platform when you're already here on YouTube? Do I think Chamber will be meta? He definitely could be, potentially. Or the Scrim Juice. Any opinion on Astra nerfs? Do I think Chamber is better opera than Jet? No. I think it's important to learn certain set plays for 5 stacks and rank. It certainly can't hurt. I definitely think, one thing I noticed actually, I was watching Nats. By the way, if you haven't already, and you're a Viper player, Nats has a YouTube channel in English, and he, you know, posts pretty frequently. I was watching this video, and he's still using the same setups that he was like 6 months ago. So I think that having certain setups, even in solos, can be pretty good. So it's definitely worth learning a few like setups and just kind of doing them consistently. People say it's difficult to grow on Twitch. Is that true? Yes. Twitch has no discoverability. You basically can only appear to people if you are at the top of a directory or if you get lucky. Whereas on YouTube, there's like actual strategy to appear in front of people, and then you can grow off of that, and then you can push people to Twitch if you want to, or you can just stream on YouTube, which is probably gonna outpace Twitch in the next like 5 years anyway. Do I think Omen is in a good or a bad spot? He's in a terrible spot. I think Omen is bottom 2 agents in the game. Which agent has the highest skill ceiling? That's tough, honestly, because it kind of depends on how you want to think about the agents, right? If you look at the different agents, most mechanically demanding ones are probably going to be stuff like Jet, like Astra, I would say. Lineups are a huge part of playing something like Sova, which is, a whole another like realm of complexity to consider. So it's kind of hard to say which is the most mechanically demanding because they have different mechanics. I actually don't think that Viper's that mechanically demanding. I think she's kind of straightforward. You just have to know your setups on each map. You have to know like where you want your walls and how to throw orbs that actually work. Do I think Astra's broken the game in response to Shazam's recent comments? I do think that Astra makes basically every... Astra is about as important to play as Jet, which is somewhat problematic. I was wondering, who do I think one of the best Sova players is? Trying to expand my utility usage and be a better player. I think that Crashies is really, really good at Sova. And who else did I watch recently? Critical from BBG is he still on BBG or did he join a different team? He's really good. Whatever team he's on, super, super good. Derek is very good too. But I mean, honestly, we can kind of look. We can look at it. Let's just go to let's go to Berlin. Or can we just look at stats straight up? I think we can, right? Let's just look at Agent Sova. And we'll say minimum of 500 rounds. Past 90 days. Apply filter. Obviously, ACS is not the end all be all of stats. I think more importantly would be something like ADR. Wow, actually, Indian player Gangsta is obviously very good at Sova. There's Critical for KCP. Brock is definitely good. Again, even ADR is not necessarily the end all be all because it's really all about how you use your utility. This is VLR.gg. Chimchar. And yeah, you could also use Run It Back because I think their stats are maybe a little bit more accurate. Wait, how do I get to stats? I thought I already had an account. Definitely already have an account here. Anyway, that's not important. Do I follow the Indian esports scene? Very tangentially. There's so much to watch. It's very hard to keep up with everything. I definitely would love to see India become big in esports though. That'd be sick. Do I think lineup heavy Sova is better or knowing a few lineups and being kind of on the spot player? I don't think that you need to know like a million lineups. I think you need to know a few that are like very useful in a lot of situations. And I also think one thing I think is super underrated is being able to wing stuff. So like, for example, and we'll get back to the we'll get back to the analysis stuff in a second, but I think being able to wing lineups is kind of important. So like, for example, and I'll do this with KO because he's the one that I know it most with, but kind of understanding the trajectory of your abilities can go a long way in being able to use them. I'm literally struggling to be consistent. I do the same routine, keep the same position. Even after this, I don't hit my shots every day after 2-3 games. I mean, consistency is like the hardest thing. It always has been and always will be, and it's kind of just a matter of like deliberately practicing until you become more consistent, and also giving yourself a little bit of a break. You know, you're not going to be perfect all the time. That's just how it is. So what I mean to say is, like, because I kind of know how this trajectory works, I can think about where I'm at now, look at the mini map. Let's say I want to land this on dice at a site. So if I think about the trajectory, I would say probably about like this is gonna land on dice, and that might be a little bit short, or it might be pretty much perfect, right? So that hit basically where I was hoping it would go to, and that's just because I've spent enough time just playing around with this knife where I can kind of predict the trajectory of it, and I think that that is very similar to what you should be doing with Sova and Viper and these lineup based agents, is that you should just kind of learn the trajectory, and you should know some very specific lineups, the ones that are like super useful. So, you know, if you're playing like post plant, you should definitely have a very consistent post plant lineup, but you should also be able to be like, oh, we're rotating, I want to, you know, throw this knife to hit the B site as we come in, and you should be able to just kind of like wing the knife or whatever lineup is, and there we go, we just hit B site perfectly and covered the whole thing because I kind of understand how that knife gets thrown, you know? So that's the kind of stuff that is really useful with these lineup agents. Just, you know, just go into a custom game and spend some time kind of like figuring out how far stuff goes. You know, again, if I want to hit dice, this will probably hit it. It might be a little bit too far, but it's gonna be pretty close, right? So yeah, that kind of practice is extremely useful. If you're not spending time in custom games with your favorite agent learning stuff like that, you should 100% do that. Yeah, I know my screen is cropped. I had to crop it because last time I was doing a stream, people were like messing with my shit. The North Star lineup is super helpful, by the way. Good. The icebox one. Just give skins, man. No. How about that? I'm playing on my laptop with 60 FPS locked. I reached D2, but D3 is very hard for me. Any suggestion? I would say watch your VODs if you can. I know it's kind of hard to record, but just like try and play more consciously. And like just be more aware of like why you're dying and why stuff is hard. What's my favorite map? Probably Breeze or Haven. I think Breeze or Haven are my favorite too, but I like basically all of them. I think Icebox is probably the most boring, followed by Ascent, but I like all of the maps, to be honest. What should Riot do to make Omen stronger? His ult and high elo is pretty weak. His TP ability is also pretty clunky, less intuitive. Yeah, I think they need to revert the speed on his smokes, because his smokes are like completely unusable at a high level of coordination because they take forever to fly out and land. I also think they need to rework how this teleport works because it's trash. Like, you can't use it fast, and you can barely use it at all half the time. And then his ultimate is, I think his ultimate is sneakily good, but it is perhaps, it's kind of tough because if you buff his ultimate too much, if you make it too hard to hear and detect where he is, then it becomes like insanely overpowered. So it's kind of a scary balancing act. Maybe if they made his ultimate just cost 6 instead of 7, it would be enough. Opinions on Brimstone? I think that Brimstone is actually kind of underrated. What's my way too early prediction for Champs MVP? Ooh, that's tough. I would say Nevera is my pick. Opinion on Cypher? I think that Cypher is extremely good on certain maps, but may get kind of replaced by Chamber to some extent. Should I learn playing Astra when I'm Omen main? Yeah, I mean, if you like playing smokes, Astra is the only agent that you should really focus on learning at the moment. But I also think that you can play smokes differently and play Viper. I think that Viper and Astra are the two smokers that you should learn to play. What I think about Phoenix, I think that Phoenix is probably the worst agent in the game. I know that might be kind of a hot take, because people are like, wait, what about Yoru? Nobody plays Yoru, but Yoru is kind of unique and has interesting potential. I think that Phoenix is just straight up a worse version of Sky and a worse version of KO. He's like, everything that Phoenix does, KO can do better, and everything that Phoenix does, Sky can do better. This agent is, it's funny too, because remember when this game first came out, everybody was like, Jett is too selfish, Reyna is too selfish. I actually think that Phoenix is probably the most selfish agent in the game because his flashes are so terrible that you have to only use them for yourself. You can't use them for your teammates. And most of the time, if you try to use them for your teammates, you end up flashing your teammates. I mean, I actually like Phoenix. I played a lot of Phoenix when this game first came out. I think he's really fun, but he's awful. He's really bad. Who are the best 4 teams at Champions and why? I mean, probably Sentinels, Liquid, Gambit, and I'm gonna say Vision Strikers, even though I think it's probably like Envy or Cloud9. I think Phoenix works well in Split and Haven. The thing is, I think that it, you know, if you've played a lot of Phoenix and you like playing Phoenix, that's fine. But I think that if you spent even like 5 hours and like if you just first picked Sky every game for like a week, you would get to the point where you're just like, Phoenix is trash. Sky is way better. Or same thing with KO. Best agent for beginners, Sova or Phoenix? Best agent for beginners is probably Brimstone, actually. Brimstone's probably the best agent for beginners. Or Sage. Maybe Sage. Sage is really, really good. Very easy to play, but also super fun. What do I think Phoenix will? What buff do I think will bring Phoenix back to the meta? That is very hard, honestly, because I don't know. It's like maybe if you gave his wall the Viper decay effect or something, or you made his wall something that was more easily used as a smoke, like Viper's wall can be used, right? Maybe if it lasted longer. I don't know. He's such a selfish agent that he just does not work at high levels really anymore. Does Breach need a buff? No, Breach is really good, especially on Fracture. He's a power creep problem. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel too. What's my current EDPI? I'm not sure actually. I play on like 0.4. I think I play on 0.420 cents and like 800 DPI maybe. So whatever that EDPI calculates to. Best agents on Fracture: Astra, Viper, Breach, Cypher, Jet, Sage, probably. Any buff that I can think of for Sage? I think Sage is in a pretty good spot, actually. I don't think that they really need to change much. I think she's still pretty useful. KO or Sky. Depends on the map. No Killjoy and Fracture. I mean, I think Killjoy is pretty good on Fracture too, but I just think Cypher's better because you can leave your trips on the other side of the map and walk away and still detect people. Who are the best agents, period? Astra, Jet, Viper. That's it. Those are the top three, I would say. I would say potentially KO, actually. But we'll see. What do I think about Chamber in Pro Scene? I've made 2 videos on it. I would say go watch those, but I definitely think that he has potential. Oh, Sova. Yeah, Sova for sure. What do I think is the most flexible comp? Double Initiator, double Duelist, or double Controller? Probably double. I mean, the classifications are so random, I think, at this point. Like, is Viper a controller or is Viper like a sentinel, you know? Because Viper is one of the best anchors in the game. I think that Viper Astra is the best and the most flexible, which is why all the pro teams are playing it. Do not tell Sideshow that KO is good. Yeah, fair. I think it would be better to have a lot of agents but make agents only viable on some maps, or a small pool of agents that can work equally well with each other on all maps. That is a very good question, and I'm kind of curious to see how Valorant develops in that regard, because I think that you will get to a point where once you have like 60 agents, right? Just imagine, right? We have 17 agents right now. Just imagine if there's 60 of them. If there's 60 agents, chances are that there's going to be some overlooked ones that are actually really good, or, you know, situationally extremely broken, or really good in specific combinations that people just don't really try out enough, you know. So we might have 60 agents in the game and there will still be teams running like Astra, Viper, Sage, Jet, Sova every single map. But then we might have some weird agent, you know, maybe they'll come out with like an alien from Mars or something like that, and the Mars agent has the ability that when it's paired with Yoru and Raze is like insane for some reason. It's definitely possible. Should I insta-lock in my games, or is that just selfish because my team keeps insta-locking, leaving me to pick up the slack? You should do whatever you are most comfortable with. Sometimes I specifically want to play an agent and I will insta-lock it. And other times I'm feeling more flexible, like I can contribute playing whatever. And so then I will just chill. So I'd say mix it up, whatever you feel comfortable doing. Would I ever want to coach a team? Yeah, if the right opportunity presented itself. I definitely like doing analysis, and my background is in competition from traditional sports, so I would love to work with a good team. Breach or KO, depends on the map. Do I think there will be bans or picks like in Dota and League? It's hard to say. I'm not sure. I think it would be cool, but we are nowhere near having enough agents to do that. I think you could probably only start doing that when there's like 40 agents in the game, or like 30 agents in the game, which is still quite a ways away. Okay, so before we get into the giveaway, which we will do here in just a second, I wanted to watch a couple of these promotional things that I haven't seen yet. I don't know if you guys have watched them yet, but I think it would be cool just to check out a few of these and just see what we think, you know?
Hey everyone, I'm Anna, and I'm the executive producer on Project A, our character-based tactical shooter.
Together, we are Valorant.
미안해서 어쩌나?
Kültürümüzü kucaklıyoruz.
Get out my way, stand in the clear. I'm about to put the whole plan in the gear. Foot to the floor, hands in the wheel. First to the grave, last to the rail. Prove that I can in the wheel.
Nós somos mais que nossa cadeia.
We defy.
Dude, this guy is crazy. Look at, he's playing with a trackpad, and dude, that's so cool.
Are you ready for it? I'm feeling like a king. Came for the crown, so get ready. It's about to go down. It's about to go down.
Oh, hold up. Was this is this Dopa 2? No, I don't think so. I'm getting all hype. I want to play some Valorant right now.
Together, we make history. We create champions.
Dude, the marketing team. I would honestly love to work on videos for this kind of stuff. I think it would be really fun. It'd be really fun. Yeah, I've already seen that. I don't know if you guys saw this, but the NRG guys played Chamber. I don't know if I don't think there was a VOD of it, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would totally look at it. But it definitely fits his playstyle. He's a sheriff demon. So that I think players like that, a proto probably will play Chamber. What makes KO so good? Because I'm thinking about maining him, but every time I play him, it feels really awkward. I think one of the best things about KO is that he's really good against the current meta of agents. He's like super good against Sova and Sky and Viper and Astra. If you can hit them before, like as you're ready to execute on the site, you can just charge the site and there's nothing they can do to stop you. So yeah, Navera has COVID. but is going to be able to play. Like they have sort of like a quarantine thing set up, so shouldn't be any issues. And it sounds like he's not actually sick, but just has like a PCR positive test, so they're going to be careful, but he's going to be fine. This was something interesting. Ooh, should we watch the Korean stacks video, or should we do the giveaway first? Let's I'm gonna play this, and I'm gonna get the giveaway set up while we watch this on the other monitor.
저는 사실 모든 스탯에 있어서 우리나라에서 누가 제일 잘해라고 저한테 물어본다면
Okay, do they have
탑승하는 모든
English?
스탯에다
Okay, here we
스탯이
go. They do have English subtitles. Good, because I unfortunately cannot speak Korean. Sad. 1 second. Okay.
저는 사실 모든 스탯에 있어서 우리나라에서 누가 제일 잘해라고 저한테 물어본다면 탑3 안에 모든 스탯에다 스택스는 있는 것 같아요.
상대편이 VS다. 뭐 내색은 하지 않겠지만 마음속으로 무조건 깔고 들어가는 게 있다고 생각하고, 스택스는 또 그중에 제일 에이스라고 생각하기 때문에 그것도 한 번 더 주눅이 들지 않을까, 웬만한 사람이라면.
FPS 선수를 하기 위해서 좀 태어난 그런 사람이라고 할까.
That's a lie. Professional FPS players didn't exist when Stax was born. He's like 21, 22 years old. Nobody knew what professional FPS was at that point. This coach is lying. Very unfortunate.
좀 FPS 게임이 천직인 것 같고, 정말 이거를 습니다.
Hold up.
자신감? 그거 하나만큼은 진짜 인정해줘야 될 것 같아요. 최대 강점이라 제가 생각하는 거는 일단 첫 번째로 자신감인 것 같고, 두 번째로 이제 위기 관리 능력들이 좀 다른 선수들보다 좀 뛰어난 것 같습니다.
4살 땐가? 5살 때 제가 집에 한번 있었는데 오케이 생각났어. 네. 그때 제가 정확히 기억나는 게 할머니가 같이 계셨거든요. 외할머니가. 그때 이제 아버지가 집에 돌아오셔서 게임 PC CD를 들고 오신 거예요. 그 게임으로 이제 아버지가 이제 어떻게 움직이는지 알려주고, 아버지가 직접 플레이하면서
Wait, what game
이런
does Dad
게임이다,
teach him
이렇게
how to
하면
play?
된다라는 거 오셔서 게임 PC CD를 들고 오신 거예요. 그 게임으로 이제 아버지가 이제 어떻게 움직이는지 알려주고, 아버지가 직접 플레이하면서 이제 이런 게임이다, 이렇게 하면 된다라는 걸 해서 자연스럽게 이제 FPS 게임에 빠져들게 된 것 같아요.
얘기 때부터 게임을 이제 FPS 게임을 접해가지고 집에서 꽤 많이 했는데,
That's awesome.
아마 어릴 때부터 그거 보고 영향을 좀 많이 아마 받았는 것 같습니다. 그리고 뭐 PC방도 같이 다니고 같이 PC방에서 맛있는 것도 사 먹고, 뭐 친구들보다 저하고 게임방에 많이 간 것 같아요. 그래서 영향을 좀 많이 받았는 것 같습니다.
자연스럽게 공고를 입학하고 그냥 계속 그냥
Electrical
공부하고
engineer?
시험
What?
준비하고 하다가 이제 1학년 2학기 때인가? 그때쯤에
Baby
이제
drip.
제가 전기과였는데 그 전기선 같은 거를 조금 잘 만져서 거기 전기 조금 좀 심화반 같은 게 있어요. 거기서 이제 좀 스카웃 같은 느낌을 받아서 거기서 이제 해서 거기 선생님이 너 3년 동안 하면 삼성 갈 수 있어 라고 해서 너무 솔깃해서 바로 갔죠. 저는 항상 뭔가 살아온 환경에 있어서도 제가 하고 싶은 걸 하면서 자라왔기 때문에
This is so cool.
사람들이 쉽게 도전할 수
Dude, okay. I gotta say, this kind of content is probably the most important thing to happen in esports. And I think that a lot of the credit goes to Dota for doing like True Sight and free to play, because they were kind of like one of the first major esports to start putting out content that was like really delving into the backstory of the players. But now everybody does it, and it makes enjoying the games so much better because you can just easily become a fan of players, and without that, esports doesn't exist. So I'm so happy, and like I really hope that more people see this, because I mean this is in Korean, right? And it's on the Korean Valorant channel. This is the Korean VCT channel. So there's only 12,000 subscribers, which is super unfortunate. I'm not even subscribed. Let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, only 10,000 views. This is sick. People need to see this kind of stuff.
그런 거를 조금 직업으로 삼고 싶었고 뭐 어떻게 말하면 좀 관종이죠?
아니요, 걱정은 전혀 안 되었습니다. 왜냐하면은 구택이가 평소에 하는 행실이 뭐 공부를 하기 싫어서 프로게이머 한다고 이렇게 뭐 요즘 뭐 핑계대고 뭐 그런 친구들이 뭐 많다고 문제가 많던데 그런 애가 전혀 아니라는 걸 저희들은 알고 있어요. 엄청 신중하고 그렇기 때문에 이제 구택이를 믿었죠.
처음엔 당연히 마냥 즐거웠지만 이제 이거 아니면 안 된다. 이게 내 인생이 돼야 돼서 모든 걸 쏟아 부어야 된다는 생각이 많았어요.
영입할 때 만났을 때는 그냥 진짜 딱 애기 같더라고요. 애기 같지만 좀 야망이 있어 보이는 좀 그런 선수였어가지고 조금 인상 깊게 생각을 했었습니다, 당시에.
카스를 할 때는 이제 당연히 이제 해외에서만 유명한 게임이었지 국내판에서는 이제 팬들도 없고 팀들도 한 팀밖에 없고 그리고 이제 보여줄 수 있는 건 대회도 하나도 없으니까
Yeah, it's sick that his dad was super supportive.
그때 당시에 이제 다른
Glow.
게임이었을
It's
때다
glow.
보니까 아직 어린데 좀 너무 힘든 길을 가지 않고 있나 그런 좀 걱정 반, 기대 반 그랬던 것 같아요, 그 당시에.
이제 발로란트라는 게임을 나왔을 때는 제가 이제 누군지 보여줄 수 있을 것 같고 그래서 발로란트를 하면서 좋았던 점이 저를 알아봐 주신다는 것도 제가 핸드폰 사주러 왔을 때 알아봐 주셨거든요, 한번. 뭐 그런 것도 좀 있었던 것 같아요. 103승 무패를 했기 때문에 아무래도 저희에게 이제 어깨에 좀 무거운 짐이 있지만 e스포츠에 있어서는 조금 좀 큰 공을 좀 했다고 생각하거든요.
스택스 선수가 원래 총을 엄청 잘 쏜다고 했던 선수였잖아요.
Lucky야,
그래서
dude.
모델하면서 좀 떨어지나라고 생각을 했는데 그건 또 아닌 것 같아요. 여전히 총 잘 쏘더라고요.
He's like, I thought his aim might be bad when he
적으로
started
만났을 때
shotgunning.
스택스 항상 무서웠죠. 저희가 이겼을 때 있잖아요, 한번 F4Q로 BS를 이겼을 때도 구태기 형은 지는 팀인데도 엄청 무서웠었어요. 존재감이 되게 무서웠었습니다.
오더를 하면서 헤드샷 비율을 30 후반대를 세계 대회에서 유지했던 것부터가 일단 엄청난 좀 재능이고 잠재력이라고 생각을 하고 지금 이제 우리나라를 이끄는 팀의 오더자, 뭐 가장 좋은 에임을 갖고 있는 선수 중에 한 명이 되지 않았을까 싶어요.
저는 패왕색이라는 게 존재한다고 생각합니다. 제 이름값, 이제 저희 팀원 팀들의 이름값, 그걸 이제 응원해 주시는 팬분들이 있으니까 그거를 이제 자신감으로 능력치를 먹고 들어가기 때문에 그렇게 된다고 봐요, 저는.
이제 구태기 정도는 연습량과 이제 노력을 해야 이제 저 정도의 위치를 갈 수 있지 않나. 그 연습량은 아무래도 이제 기존에 이제 일반인들이 할 수 있는 정도는
Oh, hold up.
최소한
We gotta steal his warm-up routine. Okay, here we go.
이제 노력을 해야 이제 저 정도의 위치를 갈 수 있지 않나. 그 연습량은 아무래도 이제
Alright, we're clicking bots.
기존에
We're flicking
이제
and clicking.
일반인들이 할 수 있는 정도는 최소한 10배 이상은 하지 않을까요?
제가 연습하는 루틴이 조금 있긴 한데 저희가 힘들게 연습했을 때는
He wakes up at
11시
11:30.
30분쯤에 이제 일어나서 이제 1시에 이제 다 앉아서 잠 깨고 이제 PC에서 사격장 같은 걸 하고 그게 이제 셰리프로 이제 봇 어려움
Practice
이제
in hard mode with Sheriff.
속도에서는 25마리 잡기
25 kills.
근데 그게 이제 일어나자마자 잡을 수도 있어요. 25마리를. 그럴 때는 그냥 10번 정도 더해서
10 times.
25마리 잡기. 11시에서 12시까지 또 스크림을 하고 그리고 이제 새벽 3시까지 자기 연습, 개인 연습 시간이었죠. 랭크라는 시간. 그렇게 계속 거의 한 주
6 days per
6일째로
week.
거의 대회 있을 때는 주 7일 이렇게 했었습니다.
힘들지 않았어요?
당연히 힘들었죠. 그런 거 질문이라
Damn, dude. That's
대회
a lot
나갔을
of
때부터
Valorant.
어깨 교정 보호대를 끼고 있었고
He plays so much
항상
that he has
보수
to
치료를
wear
받고
shoulder
이제
braces.
주사도 항상 진짜 일주일에 한 3번 정도 맞고 있었거든요.
What?
최고가 돼야 되겠다라는 생각이 항상 머릿속에 있어서 그런 것 때문에 저는 도주 야밤 도주를 하지 않고 지금 이 자리를 지키고 있는 것 같습니다.
Okay.
저는
That's too much. You should not be 20-ish, 21, 22 years old and having to get pain injections to continue gaming. That's not good. You should not play that much. That's crazy. Crazy dedication. But that is way, way, way over the top. There's gotta be there's gotta be a better way. Maybe integrate some stretches, some physical therapy, some exercise or something like that. But that's nuts.
프로게이머를 하기로 마음을 먹었으면 정말 모든 걸 바쳐서 해야 된다고 생각을 하거든요.
Yeah,
저희 팀
health definitely
선수들은
more important.
그 정도 희생을 다 했어요. 지금까지. 그렇기 때문에 지금의 저희 BS가 있다고 생각을 하고 물론 과정이 힘들겠지만 분명히 끝은 분명히 어느 정도의 보상이 있을 거예요. 노력한 만큼.
제가 농구 선수 중에 르브론 제임스라고 있는데 그 선수의 말을 따르면은 게임 안에서는 친구들도 적이 돼야 된다라는 말이 있거든요. 완전 그냥 나쁜 놈이 돼야 된다라는 그런 조금 마인드가 있어서 게임에서는 끝까지 물고 늘어져야 되는 싸움이라고 생각합니다.
비전 스트라이커즈는 아무래도 우리나라 팬 여러분들 기대가 또 워낙에 컸기 때문에 그 국제 무대에서 더 잘해야 된다는 부담감을 사실 웬만한 일반인들은 못 견디지 않을까요? 저도 뭐
가끔 구태기가 이제 경기 도중에 좀 그런 말을 한 적이 있어요. 자기가 다 이겨줄 테니까 먼저 가서 싸우라고 죽어도 된다고 하는 그런 말들을 할 때가 있거든요. 뭐 팀 입장에서 같은 팀 선수 입장으로서는
Dude.
가장 든든한 말이 아닐까 싶어요.
Stacks. He's like, all right, go do whatever you want, guys. I'll win the game no matter what happens.
내가 가서
That's pretty
지더라도 자기가 뒤에서
pretty
남아서
insane
다
confidence.
이겨주겠다는 말들을 하는 거 보면 확실히 뭐 자신감도 자신감이고.
Somebody was asking earlier in chat how important confidence is for playing
제가
the game.
항상 느꼈지만
There you go.
강팀들이랑 싸울 때는 전략이나 에임 싸움이 중요한 게 아니라 저는 누가 더 실수를 적게 하냐 싸움이라고 생각하거든요. 그래서 그날에 이제 누가 더 실수를 적게 하냐, 누가 더 열심히 준비했냐에 따라서 승패가 좌지우지하는 것 같아요.
A 사이트에서 3킬을 하고 라운드가 끝난 줄 알았는데 안 끝난 거예요. 그래가지고 저는 그거를 이제 모르고 나이스 하면서 이제 고함을 질렀는데 알고 보니까 한 명이 더 있었던 거예요. 라운드 이후로 이제 뭔가 우리 팀 긴장이 풀린 느낌? 그래가지고 스노우볼을 굴른 것 같아요.
저희 선수들이 발로한테서는 굉장히 잘하고 있지만 이 장르에서는 그렇게 경험 많은 선수들이 아니거든요. 그래서 아직도 성장해야 될 길이 좀 많이 남아있다고 생각을 하고 큰 대회에서 실수하는 것들로
This is so
충분히
cool,
경험을
dude.
얻고 있다고 생각을 해요.
Really, really good interviews.
조금 열심히 하는 것보다는 이제 잘하는 게 저는 중요하다고 생각해서 열심히는 당연히 프로라면 당연히 가지고 있어야 될 주제고 이제 잘하는 거는 그거랑 다른 주제이기 때문에 조금 더 거기서는 이제 노력이나 열정이 좀 필요하지 않나 생각합니다.
롤로 치면 페이커, 이제 한국 발로란트 하면 이제 스택스 이런 말이 좀 나오게 되게 잘 됐으면 좋겠어요.
제가 생각했던 것보다 훨씬 더 잘 해오고 있다고 생각하고 훨씬 더 성장할 수 있을 것 같습니다.
어느 선수든 이제 우러러볼 수 있는 다른 나라에서도 그런 선수가 됐으면 좋겠어요.
그 노력만큼 결과가 나왔으면 좋겠고 특히나 뭐 스택스 선수 같은 경우에도 이번 대회가 끝나면 조금 더 전 세계가 주목하는 선수가 되기를.
Can you link this video? Yeah, I'll link it once this is done.
지금까지 1년 동안 하면서 이제 마지막으로 보여줄 수 있는, 증명할 수 있는 대회잖아요. 근데 저는 도전하는 것보다는 저는 그 왕자의 자리를 지키고 싶어하는 스타일이기 때문에 결과를 보여줘서 제가 그런 입장이 될 수 있도록 노력하고 이제 팬분들이 실망시키지 않게 열심히 노력해서 좋은 성적을 낼 수 있도록 보여드리겠습니다.
Alright, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I am a fan. Okay. Let us see here. All right, so there's a couple different ways I think that we can potentially run this giveaway. So I'm not entirely sure this way is going to work. We're going to try it. If it doesn't, I have another way that we can do this. But actually, hold on. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay. The heck? Okay, we're gonna try this again. Okay. So you guys need to type this exact word. Champions skin, one word, capital C, capital S. You only get to enter once. Type champions skin in chat right now. Gonna let it ride. Again, I don't entirely know if this is gonna work, and if not, I have a different way to do this. Going to close this in the next minute. Okay, this is not working correctly. All right, you guys can stop spamming. You guys can stop spamming. Okay, we have to come up with a slightly different way to do this. Sorry. I'd never used this system before and it did not work, unfortunately. I don't think, is there a way to turn on slow mode? I don't even know if there is. Anyway, stop spamming. We'll get to it in a second. Give me a second. I'm gonna put on another video while I figure out how to do this. Let's do the EMEA Champions, how they got here. While I figure this out on the other screen.
Passion, concentration, suffering, and pure joy. The first year of the VCT is drawing to a close, and it has been a roller coaster of emotions for spectators and players alike. It was just 10 months ago when the Valorant Champions Tour started, so let's take a look back at this spectacular year in our EMEA region. Do you remember this spectacular moment? You wait for the other players to come by. There's one up close now, and a second kill. The Smith's out of there. He's still alive. 2 kills. Looking for more. 3. Element, you absolute monster. What is this? Element earned the first MVP title of the first VCT EU Challengers Week back in February, while teams like G2 Esports or Heretics got off to a slow start. This showed us one thing. The Valorant scene was unpredictable and was yet to truly find its footing.
Oh my god, Rogue. Oh my god!
The CIS region looked similar, with First Strike winners Forza passing the baton to Gambit later on. Unknown teams like Crow Crowd even secured a master seed ahead of them on the back of a certain Finn called Durka. In Turkey, all eyes were on Footballist and BBL Esports. They at least managed to live up to their roles as favorites and qualified for their regional masters as expected. In addition, BBL in particular always created new audience records across the VCT. People were crazy about this team. At the first Masters, the favorites slowly found their groove. In Turkey, Footballers claimed victory. The CIS title went to Gambit Esports, and in Europe, it was Heretics. No, wait, Ascend, who managed to smash the competition. It might seem like a surprise these days, but this was a newly founded team that surprisingly managed to take the title away from the heavy favorites at the time, such as Heretics and FPX.
So you guys can chill.
That concludes the first chapter. Now it's time for Phase 2. We had the very first offline event for Valorant. The Masters in Reykjavik was coming up. To get there, our region first had to go through the EMEA Challengers Finals, an event that had featured the premier teams from Europe, Turkey, and CIS going head.
Okay. You guys are still spamming? You're not doing anything. Literally nothing is happening. I have to do a slightly different way of doing this giveaway, and it's going to take me a few minutes to set it up. So you can stop spamming and everything's going to be fine. And if you're still spamming, you're probably a bot.
To head against each other for the first time in VCT competitions. A test of strength, which saw the European teams come out ahead of everybody else. It was also the time to shine for teams built around Boaster and Scream as they celebrated their first successes in the VCT. Liquid and Fnatic went on to travel to Iceland on behalf of the EMEA region to compete with the best teams in the world on our behalf. That went pretty well too. But first, let's check out Boaster's celebration montage. Outstanding moves from Boaster. But now, back to the competitive side of things. Both EU teams ended up in the top 4, with Fnatic even making it to the finals. In the meantime, they had brought in Durka from the CIS region, who captured the audience's attention at Masters.
Fnatic are going to put the chaos on. Oh my god!
However, they had to admit defeat in the final against the seemingly superior North American team, Sentinels. It happens. Dust off and back up we get. Back to the EMEA region. New stage, new teams, new ambitions. In Turkey, a new challenger emerged beside the established Futbolist, BBL, and Oxygen of the region. Supermassive Blaze put on a showcase of impressive Valorant gameplay, with players like Pora and Russ leading the charge.
One needs a second, and there we go. It's actually working out. It's just Izzy.
Oh my
Izzy is
God.
enough.
Their rise granted them a place at Masters in Berlin, with a second place finish at the EMEA Challenger playoffs. Only Gambit Esports were able to better them, showing their true potential after having had the reputation of being a strong opponent in scrims. But what about Europe? Well, Ascend came back after a summer break in good form. The last remaining place for the Berlin Masters was taken by... Wait, we know them from last year, don't we? Wasn't that the organization that won almost every tournament in 2020? Finally, G2 Esports was back on the Valorant stage. With a new team centered around Mixwell, the shame of this year was almost forgotten. And boy did they succeed. Their entertaining banter led to an enticing rivalry with the defending champion Sentinels.
All up to Dapper. He's going in for the stick, halfway at least, ready to take the fight up above, and Coldamenta's shut down. He's almost got it, but they push at just the right moment. 13-11. G2 have won the series.
G2 made it to the semifinals. Only one EMEA team was stronger than them. And guess who?
Behind him, but they've almost passed like ships in the night.
Exactly. Gambit managed to beat the European representatives G2.
And the snake bite not quite clearing the angle. He's about to run to site, reloading, and Mixwell completely whiffs. Not actually punches it out.
The Russians made it to the final and proved that they belonged. A strong 3-0 with which to demonstrate the dominance of the EMEA region. Finally, we were where we belonged. So, after taking the circuit points into consideration, Masters 1 winner Ascend, Masters 2 finalist Fnatic, and the winners of Berlin Gambit qualified for Champions. But wait, we still have one more chapter. With the LCQ, there was one more place to go, and oh man was this tournament stacked. Liquid, Guild, G2, Futbolist, Supermassive Blaze, even the Meta Team champion Anubis Gaming joined the battle for the coveted final ticket. It could have been called Masters 4. In the end, however, one team had a decisive advantage. Team Liquid already had a headshot machine with Scream. Then they went and simply added a second one.
Here, but he does get caught off. Good trade out. Navera out of nowhere.
With the addition of Scream's brother Navera, the brother buff was in full force, and they lit up the whole server from the get-go. How unfair. Now there's two of them. After all that, we as the EMEA region can now look forward to Champions. All 4 of our participants actually have a chance to win the title. So get ready, regions from all over the world. To put in the words of G2, this is our town.
Sick. More hype. Okay, here we go, guys. Here we go, guys. Hopefully this works. Okay, I have pinned a comment. There's a link to a giveaway. You click on it, you enter with your YouTube account. You get 1 entry. And we will draw a winner in just a few minutes. In the meantime, let's check out a Nats video.
creativity. I guess all of my creativity right now in the game, because I have to do some setups, lineups. When I'm playing the game, I'm doing some creative things, but that's my job. I can't relax with it. But when I'm painting, doing some other things, that's relax for me.
No way, Nats is a
I'm
painter.
Hula. I'm creating an artwork inspired by the professional Valorant player Nats. I'm a street artist slash nature artist. It sounds so cliche, but just vibing with somebody or another artist and realizing, oh, there is some alignment here. It's so cool to see kind of the parallels.
1 year ago, I was just thinking, how is it possible to go on the LAN
enter,
or
click on the
just
pinned-
play against the top
pinned
players?
message.
I always would watch painters, and there was a lot of graffiti kind of inspiration while I was growing up in Hawaii.
I'm gonna say that maybe I can be good in painting because I like it. I had some lessons before. I used to draw good, but if I didn't play Valorant, if I have more free time, maybe I could do some great graffiti, maybe some good painting.
I guess the initial creative experience was I wanted to really translate just what he embodied as a confident, stoic person that kind of doesn't spend all that energy on extra emotion.
Because before we won the match against Team Liquid when we qualified to Berlin, I didn't have any emotions because I'm trying to spend my emotions only in the game, and I think if we lose the Champions, it will be the same. Oh, what just happened? We won the tournament. I'm just gonna sit in the chair. Okay.
It was so cool to see this kind of creative individual and how his mind works.
You have to do other things every day, every month, every game. You can't just watch how other players playing, just steal that for you. You have to do some creative things from you.
What struck me most about Nats was how dedicated and how calculated he is beforehand.
Actually, the most important thing for all of the players, I learned just how much you have to play the game and how you have to spend your time in the game. You have to improve yourself, like the different things. You have to prepare a lot. You have to improve your mind,
We'll pick the
improve
winners
your
at the end of this
aim and
video.
other things.
So with the piece, I really wanted to leave this figure emerging from water, and what's left behind the water is actually the very unfinished, blocked in portion where you see that it's still getting defined. I love that about Nats is just, we're seeing, you know, this rising star, and I can't wait to see what else emerges from that.
For me, it's to have the chance to win Champions. It's gonna be like a really good story for me then. It's gonna be cool that, you know, my friends, child's gonna read about me, how I was playing the game, what's going on with me. I'm writing the history, I mean, for me.
All right, we're picking our two winners right now. All right. So, here's the deal. Remember, if you didn't read the rules, then that's too bad for you. But remember, you have to be able to receive the prize. So you have to have PayPal or Cash App, or you have to be in the US and can get a code redeemable. Okay? So those are the rules. If you're a winner and you don't have those availabilities, that's too bad. The winner of the first one is Lorenz Lepresca. So Lorenz, if you are in the chat, then you need to DM me on Twitter and I will send you the prize. Okay. If you can't do that, you do not get the prize. So DM me on Twitter right now, as was stated in the rules, or no prize for you. But congratulations. Giveaway number 2 winner is Smart Newt. Smart Newt, again, DM me on Twitter right now to receive your prize. Again, if you do not have the ability to receive the prize, that's too bad. And yes, I'm going to verify that they are the correct person. You have to send me a screenshot of you logged into your YouTube account. Otherwise, I'm obviously not going to send you anything. That's how it goes. In the meantime, we might have to draw again. We'll see. We might have to draw again. In the meantime, let's go ahead and watch some more Vision Strikers content.
일단 창의력이란 말 하면은 그림이나 아니면은 음악 같이 뭔가를 만드는 그런 게 제일 먼저 떠오르는 것 같아요.
Hi, I'm Bryce Coe, and I'm creating an illustration of the professional Valorant player, Lakia. Sports as a medium that people consume and enjoy, it's like you want to see someone do something you think is like incredible, because they play games, and then they want to see someone else do amazing at it.
저희 가족은 형이 3명이나 있는데 저희 가족이 어릴 때부터 게임을 좋아해가지고 저희 형들도 게임을 많이 했고 저희 형제 중
Okay, there's a lot of people randomly DMing me on Twitter. Nobody has sent me proof yet. Stop DMing me on Twitter unless you're the winner. And if I don't have the winners here to receive the prize in the next 15 minutes, I will do a new giveaway using a different method. And then we'll pick winners that are guaranteed to be here. Okay, so everyone chill out. I will keep you updated. In the meantime, relax and enjoy the content.
3명이 프로게이머였거든요.
Being creative has to do with understanding where the audience is at and surprising them, challenging them with something new and original. That's what creativity is for me within art, but I think it's the same within games.
일단 한강도 있었고 그리고 제가 어릴 때 산 올라가는 것도 좋아했었는데 그런 산 같은 데 올라가면은 보이는 딱 그런 딱 넓게 펼쳐져 있는 경관 같은 게 전 좋은 것 같아요.
He is like a super zen dude, and that has to do with my own kind of obsession with reaching that flow state, which I think he's also able to do. That's why he's so good. He knows how to become calm in the same way that like you're shutting off other things and just focus on the task at hand.
저는 제일 첫 번째 우선순위가 침착함이라고 생각해요. 왜냐하면 저는 일단 저라는 사람은 급해지면은 약간 좀 많이 흔들리는 스타일이거든요, 제가. 그래서 저는 최대한 침착하게 그 정보에 대응하려고 하고 정보 얻을 때도 침착하게. 저는 침착이 1순위인 것 같아요.
When Lakia talks about being a really calm player, that was kind of one of the main jumping off points, I think, for the illustration I made. I wanted to kind of convey the flow state that he's going through when he's playing through the visual of flowing water.
일단 저는 그런 창의적인 거라고 하면은 막 엄청 멋있거나 그런 것보다는 그 막 잔잔하고 막 평온하게 해주는 그런 아름다운 것 쪽 관련된 거가 먼저 떠오르는 것 같아요. 그림이나 음악이나 둘 다.
One of the background elements within the piece are the mountains. It has more to do with trying to convey the type of guy he is, that it's going to be like a serene, beautiful piece. But another dimension of his life is that he's got 3 brothers. I put 3 different mountains, one to represent each of his brothers. And Lakia himself talks about like the view at the top of the mountain is something to strive for. These mountains represent that desire for him to climb, simultaneously how his brothers.
The gleam's already done.
That drive
I've
as
already
well.
drawn the winners from the gleam. So if that doesn't work, we'll do something else.
My name is Kim Jong-min, and 저는 그냥 뭐 간단하게 뭐 게임을 좋아하는 선수기도 하고, 그리고 또 바깥 일상생활을 즐겨하기도 하는 사람인데, 현재 20대를 게임에 엄청 집중하고 보내면서 살고 있는 사람 같아요.
All right. We got another one coming up here. There was have you guys seen the tens video? The naturals, Mr. Impossible. Or you guys want to watch the Yay video? El Diablo? Scraps, why is member Discord so dead? Because there's like 6 members that have joined it so far.
Oh yeah, he's still alive. He knows where you're at as well.
Yo, real talk. Some of you out there are a bunch of rats. I've gotten 5 or 6 people sending me fake accounts, fake proof of them as one of the giveaway winners. And here's the fact. I've already found the real giveaway winner, and I'm already sending them the prize. So those of you who are sending me fake proof of you being this person, fuck off. So get fucked.
This guy is living up to that name. El Diablo's in the building, folks.
Well, well, well. If it isn't El Diablo in the flesh. What's up, brother?
Dude, Baby Bay and Yay, two of the best jet
Diablo.
players.
How, why, I mean, I know why, just from our experience playing together. But
Yeah. So I would say it kind of like originated from the TSM guys. Actually, Wardell ended up telling me it was him who started it because it kind of became like a meme on their team basically,
Yeah.
where it was just like every time we played them, I think I was like dropping like 30, 40, and like they just started spamming like Diablo in the chat and stuff like that.
Yo.
You know, that sort of thing. So I was
Like,
just like, yeah.
this demon's just running around, taking everybody out. And listen, I know from experience, man, I had to play you in a match where your coach subbed in, and we were like on the brink of losing to you still.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Like when you were on Anbox.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, this guy's just playing in U-Haul as like Reyna, just swinging.
Yeah, I remember that. I was
just
swinging.
dominating our whole team. I was like trying to hype my team up, man. I was like, dude, we can do this, guys. Like they have a coach. Like, dude, just hit the coach's site. Just go away from Ye. Just go away from Ye.
When we were playing against him when he was on Nbox, that's literally what he was. But the funny thing is when we got the kill on him, when we actually killed him in the server, everything was a lot easier.
Yeah.
The round was multiple times easier.
Yeah. You said something about like the demon comes out. Right?
Yeah. So when players are playing against him, they see his jet agent, they're scared of him, they run away. So it's kind of like the actual, devil presence,
Again! The man does not slow down, taking souls left and right.
Enemy kill.
As a fellow Jet player that likes to play that assertive like style, I mean, maybe a little bit too assertive at times, which I think you have the perfect balance, Obviously, you have to be mechanically talented.
Yeah.
You have to have good aim.
Right.
You have to have good movement, and you have to be able to use your abilities correctly in a very overwhelming way.
It's almost a selfish agent, right? Like
It is.
It's designed around like for that person to get like, frags or space or whatever it may be,
What do you think makes you El Diablo? What do you think makes you unique?
I think out of probably like everybody, in like NA, EU, etc. I'm probably the most well-rounded Jet in the sense of like I can rifle really well, I can entry, I can op, I can do like, I have also like really
Play passive.
Play passive, play aggressive, use sheriff, marshal, like kind of like whatever gun.
Oh yeah, you Eagle man. Or sheriff, sorry. You're sheriff demon, I remember.
And just breaking hearts as Ye just drags him down.
Enemy remaining.
God, hell or high water, he's still a problem. Ye is the devil incarnate right now. You can't get past him.
You're playing on Anbox.
Sure.
You had a hell of a series against TSM.
Oh yeah.
You fall short, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, you get a second chance. Like what was going through your head? Like
it was kind of rough because like after that whole like TSM series, like I knew like on the Ambox, like we were out of everything. Like there was no last chance. There was just nothing for like the next like basically until like
next year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's just nothing. And like for me, it's just like, I feel like your time in like esports is like kind of short. Like, the best players, agents, like everything can change so drastically, especially in like Valorant, right? So it's just like I kind of knew like it might be a good time to maybe make a switch and stuff like that. Plus, I just wasn't happy at the time. So Envy eventually approached with like an offer. I got like a few other offers. One, it was actually right after that match with like TSM. They wanted to make an offer.
No way.
So that was pretty funny. But
what the?
But like ultimately, I really respected players there. I had some like past as well with like FNS. I knew how you like IGL. How they
really?
Yeah, and I also just like I watched like a lot of their games, so I knew how they played, and like that would probably be like the best fit for me.
We did everything in our power to improve to the best of our ability, and then we just felt like we'd peaked. At that point, we kind of made a decision when we saw that a player like Ye, a player like Marved, both those players were available. It was really hard to pass that opportunity up because we needed a controller player. Obviously, you know Jimmy very well. Carried you guys.
My boy.
Yep,
This is my boy.
He was your partner in crime. We stole him from you. At that point, we tried to continue going forward, but it still felt like we were missing something, and that was that El Diablo Jet.
El Diablo presence.
Immediately got him, and then we were set.
Did you just know from that point on that you were going to make that crazy run you did make it that far?
It's gonna sound cocky, but yes. Like the second we got Ye,
I respect it.
and the reason for it is his performance
too?
alone.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, it was just this is straight up honest truth. As soon as we got Ye locked in, I was like, all right, Envy, thank you. As the organization, Hastro, thank you. I can win now.
We went like completely like undefeated in the scrims, like 25-0, 30-0, or something
Jeez.
ridiculous. And
That's
it was just like,
I mean,
well,
I remember playing against you guys. That was brutal.
It-
that was tough.
All right, pausing this for a sec. So, one winner has been chosen. I've had 25 fake people try to get the prize from me. None of you are getting it. You should have read the rules first and foremost. They were posted. And since we haven't found the second person, they're probably a fake a fake account. We will do a second giveaway through a YouTube post a little bit later today. I don't want to figure it out on stream right now because this is getting very chaotic. And just look for a YouTube post on my account. I'll put up the post. I will leave it up. There'll be one winner chosen from a comment on the post. I'll pick them tomorrow. So you have like 12 hours to enter, 24 hours to enter. And that'll be that. And honestly, I might not ever do a giveaway again because this has been a terrible experience. So we're gonna finish watching this EA content, and then I'm probably gonna end the stream.
yeah, it was honestly funny because like we would get done with the days of practice, just like, well, perfection, I guess. Like, that's all, guys. Like, not much to go over, really.
What are you supposed to review when you're dominating?
I know,
everybody,
exactly.
You know?
So it was, for me, a dream to have a player that's consistently able to get that kill for me. I can literally leave him in a bomb site by himself as Jet, and he can just destroy 3 players. And even after not getting the 4th kill, he's like, oh, I'm kind of off today. I'm like, bro, just murdered their whole roster.
Wait a minute.
Honestly, I was super stoked because it was like it was kind of like my dream to go to Berlin for a little bit. Like that was like a goal for like, so long. So it was just like, I don't know. I was just really happy.
I don't know if you remember this, but he had a clutch versus, shit, was it Steel? C-Link.
Dude, where are they, by the way?
Yeah, on Haven.
Like, they're in some like weird lodge
It was on
in
Haven.
the
He's
mountains
on
or
the
something
B-bomb
like that,
site.
like a
It's
fishing
2v4.
lodge somewhere.
I get 1 kill, I die. He gets 2 kills on A-Link.
And Asuna was able to get one on FNS as well. Yay! What a shot!
I haven't watched any of this, by the way.
Spike planted.
Yeah, he's in a clutch spot here. That all right? He's good for 1.
And then he's literally 13 health. He has an op. He picks up a rifle. Bro. I was like, why is he
13
picking up a... in my head, I doubted him for a slight second.
Yeah.
I'm like, why is he picking up... Okay, it doesn't matter. It's him.
Yeah.
Let him do him. He picks up a rifle, 1v1, Steel knows exactly where he is. And he just swings and 1 bullets him before Josh has a chance to shoot him back.
Creep his way forward. A Red Bull clutch from Ye.
And I remember Vic and Austin went crazy.
Yeah.
They were like jumped, like they
I
were
was
like,
like,
they
oh
got
my
up.
God.
And I looked at Jake to give him a fist bump, like instinctively, and I just looked into this guy's eyes, and he's just locked. No celebration. He's like, let's move on.
Exactly.
I'm like, he's just moved on to the next round.
Let's go! Holy shit!
Dude, he's cold.
Jake, bro, you are incredible right now.
And I'm
Yeah,
like,
he's
this
so
guy's
cold.
a psychopath, man. I'm like, this guy is not losing. You know what I mean?
He's so good, dude.
Honestly, like, at least how I view things is like results really don't like matter too much, and like that's a weird thing to say because like obviously like like
That's
when
crazy.
people look at stuff, oh, you got first place or you got this. What matters, I think, is like
Yeah, he
growth,
does have that Kobe
more than
mentality
anything.
for
as
real.
long as you're like focused on like improving and getting better, you're gonna find success, and like a byproduct of like growing is like good results.
It's always been like a dream of mine to beat Sentinels because, I've never beaten them. So when I asked him, I asked EA, I was like, how did you feel when you beat Sentinels? And he was just like, honestly, it felt like nothing.
Yeah, like I said,
He was like,
yeah, job's
I
not
expected
done.
us to win.
Yeah.
And like, it's so funny because he's so humble. Like he doesn't like to.
He's not trying to say it to be cocky.
He doesn't like to brag
I know.
about
No, he's
his
just
skill,
dead
which
serious.
he should. He's so good.
He's dead serious. He's like, no, yeah, like I'm chilling.
Yeah, I
Move
know.
on to the next game.
He's just cold like that.
And that's what it is. Like no opponent is in his head to the point where he's like, I have to beat this team. You know what I mean? So anytime you ask him like, oh, how did it feel to beat this team? He's like, yeah, it's on to the next. You know what I mean?
You're in Berlin. You dominate all the teams. Yeah. You make it to the final. You're going against Gambit.
Gambit have done the unthinkable. They took down El Diablo himself. They rose above anyone's expectations and have delivered in a way that is unimaginable.
It's kind of like one of those series in which like I honestly felt like our team was like off, you know, like, and I guess like that's like the saddest thing is like
right in the final.
you know, the most important day, I guess, if you want to say, if you want to call it that. So I look back at like some of these rounds and they were just unlucky, you know, with like a few of them.
Overtime on Bind, Haven.
Yeah.
Man, you had a crazy map. I mean, Haven is like your map, I feel like.
Yeah.
I mean, like, well, almost every map is your map, but Haven is like your specialty.
I love that map.
Like,
That is a good map.
I think you just take over on that map.
Sensible Yay, still looking good. Excuse me, Yay. Got his ult, but it is against big boy Nat, and Ye's gonna get that to halfway. You know it is. Now, Nat, what are you gonna do about this, though? Okay, that's the plan. Okay, forces him off, and the spam comes in. He goes right back out.
No way.
Yay, what can you do? The right click. Nat, he's just doing the
What am I watching?
Oh
my God. What am I watching? He's got the defuse, Lauren.
Honestly, like we improved like a ton since like starting at Berlin, like comp wise, just like idea wise, and just like we have stuff like going into next tournament that, you know, will be much better basically.
Yeah, so I'll preface this by saying they're really nice guys, and I have no problems with any of them.
I remember you told me this.
Like I'm not a
off
trash
camera.
talker towards them. I think they're really all cool guys. They were super nice at LAN and stuff like that, and they deserve to win that day. But I don't think that happens again. Or at the very least, we should have won those first two matches.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think Envy can beat Gambit. As good as Ye is, as good as Crashies is, as good as individually the Envy players are, I don't think they have what it takes to win a championship tournament. I don't think, other than maybe Ye, I don't think they, like, I feel like they're gonna crumble under pressure.
Maps and
I don't
we
know.
threw it
It's
away
like
on our
to win a tournament as big as Champions, you have to be another level of like composed under pressure. And I just don't think that Envy has that as a team.
own accord. And if you watch that game as with a critical eye, you'll see that. That's my main hunger to want to beat them, is the fact that I want to make that wrong right again, you know?
Like we didn't drop a map all the way up until the finals, you know? So we were playing like lights out all the way up until then. And then to Berlin, we only had what, like a month or something?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's so hard to add so much stuff, you know,
In a
with
short
a new
amount of
player,
time.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I do think we have a lot of, you know, new stuff now. So I think players and opponents will definitely be caught off guard.
Going into this, you know, Worlds, you know, basically Champions tournament, you know, how do you feel about matching up against these other European teams?
It's not overly difficult compared to NA teams. It's just slightly different.
Yeah.
They play a slightly slower style compared to North American teams. North American teams, if you're up 5-6-0, the scrim is over.
Yeah.
They're just going to start running it down. They're fighting you.
They give up.
Yeah.
And so I feel like they're so close that it's so hard to tell. And on any given day, I feel like we can beat a lot of those teams, and on any given day, they can potentially beat us. We have the potential to be better than we were in that final. It's just we haven't quite reached it, and that makes me happy, actually. We're still going to have the same El Diablo. We're still going to have the same unexpected play style, very hard to read, and just manipulate rotations the same way we do and play our game. It's just going to be slightly more polished. So that'll be the difference. But as far as being world champions, obviously that's the goal. Like, we got second last time. We need to get first this time. Anything else would just be a failure.
What would it mean for El Diablo to hold that trophy up?
I mean, yeah, it would mean a lot, honestly. But I mean, it would be great, obviously. Like, it's like you've achieved like something that, you know, not a lot of people do. You get, you know, a bunch of money, fame, you know, whatever. You know, right?
The fame, the clout.
But like for me, it's just like I always want to like get better, and like that's where, you know, I guess like I find like most happiness, if that makes sense. So yeah, it would be great, but I'm hoping more than anything, like, you know, there's like a really good challenge, I guess, like, or like if there's someone like really good, you know, like there's ways I can get like better.
Do you guys also share a similar feeling, or do you think that, you know, when you're holding that trophy up, like, are you gonna feel like?
I mean, I think we're just gonna be hungry.
If EA doesn't show up, is anything probable?
Yeah, keep the trophy.
You know what I mean? So I think
I mean, Jimmy definitely hungry, bro.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm
Jimmy
saying.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I would say about my team, and the reason for that is because we know the players that we have are capable of winning. And so yeah, at the end of the day, to answer your question, I think if we do win, we'll just want to win more. Like there's no
little snowball.
Yeah.
That's lit.
Yeah.
I think you guys can do this, and I think El Diablo can come through once again.
For
and
sure.
You guys can become the world champions.
Yes.
Right? Isn't it? Isn't it from the Breaking Bad movie? I think. I think one thing that's really cool that they're doing is that they're like, because we watched the Stacks one, right? This was produced by the Valorant Korea team. This one was produced by the Valorant NA team. Then there's the Valorant EMEA team. Like each different region has their own content team, it seems like, because everything is produced slightly differently and done slightly differently. Oh, Pulp Fiction, yeah, that is also a possibility there. All right, guys. Well, hopefully you enjoyed the content. Sorry the giveaway was kind of chaotic. I thought I had a system that was going to work, and then it didn't work, so improvising made it even more chaotic. I just want to say thank you guys for hanging out and appreciate all the support on the channel. You know, sorry most of you didn't win a free skin, but at the end of the day, it's just how it goes. So I'm gonna end the stream now, and hope you guys enjoyed Champions, and stay tuned for more content coming up in the future. Peace.